So, as we're all aware now, the Epstein list was kind of dissected and people went through it. My favorite part about it is the fact that all these like left-leaning commentators or people on Twitter were claiming Trump was on the list with zero context. And I'm like, that's so disingenuous. Like, look, I'm not even like a Trump supporter or anything, but the only time he's mentioned is when it exonerates him completely. It's so silly. And they're like, yeah, he's in there, and without any context, and it's so silly. But people like, the first guy that was mentioned, what's his name? Alan Dershowitz, is that his name?
Yep. Yeah, the stuff about Dershowitz was crazy.
Yeah, like, do you see any legal ramifications for any people that are in this?
No. I mean, I tend to believe that most of them won't spend a day in jail. I think most people feel that way. He has any faith in the system anymore.
Real quick, this is my alt channel, and my main channel is in danger every day of getting banned as a result of talking with these amazing people very candidly. So please do me a favor and subscribe down below. Helps me out a lot. Get the hell on it, doggone it.
Right?
Agreed.
It is super disingenuous. Like, one of the things that I always point out is that if you go on Hulu, there's multiple documentaries about Epstein, and whenever you see whenever you click on something on Hulu, it shows like a picture, it's trying to advertise the movie. They always put up the picture of Trump standing next to Epstein at a party. And that's done because they want to paint Trump with the same brush that Epstein was, despite the fact that there's no evidence that it was anything like that. He's photographed with thousands of people who did nothing wrong because the dude, he rolled in the circles with elites. He was always going to parties. He was always hanging out with these people. It needs to be more than there's just a photo with him if you want me to believe that somebody actually did something. And that's the list is, it's kind of depressing in a lot of ways because people were like talking about it like it was a rap album drop. Like, when's the next drop come from Epstein's List? I'm like, the crimes these people are accused of are absolutely horrific.
Yeah.
And it's just, we live in such a desensitized culture that the number one thing that's come out of it is all the Stephen Hawking memes. That's what's
my God, they're so good.
It's all the Stephen Hawking memes.
Yeah, especially the one where it shows him save what's her face.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name now. I haven't watched it in so long. But he saves one of the daughters. The older daughter.
Oh, from Spy Kids or whatever.
Yeah, and he
see the one.
He like takes off in his chair, and it's like a helicopter, and it's like
I like not seen this one yet.
I like the one where he goes to the bottom of the ocean, where he's just like to the bottom of the ocean. That's what it is. Did you hear the Andrew Schultz? Have you ever heard the Andrew Schultz bit talking about it?
No.
He's talking about Stephen Hawking and God, and he's like, Stephen Hawking, who looks like a puddle. I looked at him. He absolutely does look like
he does. Yeah. It's brutal. And it's weird because he has ALS, or he had ALS, and Jason Becker, one of like my favorite guitarists of all time, he has ALS, and he looks so much better. You know what I'm saying? Like, he still, as far as his face goes, he still looks relatively normal.
Yeah,
he's obviously in a chair, and he has a breathing tube and all that, and he's hooked up to a ventilator, but his face looks normal relatively. But dude, Stephen Hawking's was fucking mutilated. Yeah. He was all discombobulated and brutal looking. And I'm like, that's crazy. And it's probably because of how he sat up in his chair. I think they lay Jason Becker down in his chair, and like when people come over, like they can shift it up to where he sees everyone. It's really weird.
Yeah, I don't see anything coming of any of them. I'm also really jaded when it comes to this stuff. It's just another day, nothing changes. It's the same thing with Disney, right? Like, another day, another movie fails. Guess what? Nothing changes. It's pretty blackpilling. If you pay close enough attention to the news cycle is so fast and so much happens where so little is ever actually done about it. It's hard to feel all that hopeful when nothing ever seems to happen to any of these people or companies.
Brett, I'm literally right there with you. That's to everything. I don't think anything's going to come of this. I don't think anything's going to happen. People are going to be distracted by something else in the 24-hour fucking news cycle because some other shit's going to come out. They're going to completely forget about it, and then we'll just move on. And every once in a while, you'll see a post of someone being like, hey, whatever happened to the, wow, we didn't see anything off of any of those people off the fucking what's the lit. And it comes up, and then it goes away, and that's it.
It's like when the FBI does something horrendous and you find out 30 years later, and people got awards for it back in the day. It's like
Yeah.
the Ruby Ridge incident, for example. There was a guy, or Waco is a good example as well. There was a guy, he was living off the grid, and he had some kind of small weapons charge, which he had a failed to appear like warrant or something. And instead of just serving the warrant or anything, all these FBI agents dress up in ghillie suits and just like crawl through the woods in like to his cabin. And his son is just walking the dog outside,
shoots at him.
Yeah, and they shoot at the dog. One of the FBI agents shoot the dog. The kid doesn't know what's happening because he's a kid. The kid's carrying a weapon, by the way.
Yeah.
So the kid
shoots
fires,
at the agents.
Fires and hits one of the FBI agents in like the leg or something. They blow the kid's face off. And then they immediately kill his wife, who's like looking out the window or something. And then there's like a 19-day standoff where they get him to surrender, and he comes out. But then retrospectively, he did sue the FBI, and he got his children got $1 million each, and he got $100,000 settlement.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that brought his kid and his wife back.
The issue is the FBI agents, like 2 of them were promoted, and all of them got awards. It was considered like a big success, and I'm like, what the fuck?
And one of the dudes who was like one of the most important people from that time period was eventually like tapped to run the ATF, and then didn't get confirmed, if I remember correctly, not that long ago. Yeah,
it's just like Waco. It's all these people taking pictures beside burnt corpses and like giving me thumbs up, and I'm like, that's like a
it was Waco. Yeah, it was Waco that happened.
It's crazy.
The guy who led the raid who led Waco, like eventually came up for head of ATF and didn't get the job because people are like, yeah, that's a bad look.
God, it's crazy. And
it's wild to see the difference too between like, and this is on a much smaller scale, but when I was in high school, we got raided by the DEA. And when they come in, they have to, when they're doing a raid like that, they have to bring the local police with you. And just, it's so wildly different the way you're treated from the local police versus like the DEA. Like the DA told me they were going to shoot me because I wanted to go check on my 5-year-old little brother because they were like carting everyone away in fucking handcuffs. And I was like, I want to go, this was at like 2 different houses. I was like, I really want to go check on my little brother. And they were like, if you fucking walk up there, you're going to get shot. And like, I remember he walks away and I was sitting there just like, what the fuck do I do? And the local cops come in and he's like, look, you're not going to get shot. Just wait a little while and you can go check on your brother. Like you could tell the local cops felt so bad. Like they were being so nice and so kind. And it was just wild, the difference. You're sitting there watching it firsthand. You're like, what the fuck is happening?
It's like when people claim that if the government told soldiers or what have you, soldiers at their disposal to do heinous shit, they're like, well, the soldiers wouldn't do it if it went against their morality. And I'm like, you have no idea how this works. And they would do it in a heartbeat. And that's just like that. A good example is the FBI. It's like look at Richard Jewell, the guy at the Olympics bombing that like found the bomb, and then they investigated him for over like a year trying to make him the suspect, and he was just a dumb fat guy that found the bomb and saved everybody's lives. Very, very, very silly.